boys and girls. I wanted to quickly go over the expectations and information about our mixtures project. Before I go into these expectations, I want to go over a little bit of vocabulary with you so that you know and understand some of these key terms, okay? So first we have the word dissolve. Dissolve means to spread out evenly in a liquid. When you guys saw the video with the salt and the sugar and the sand with water, the salt and the water and the sugar and the water both dissolved. They created what's called a solution, which we'll talk about in just a second. The sand, however, did not dissolve. It did not spread out evenly in that liquid. To mix means to combine together, kind of like what we do when we're adding or mixing. A mixture is a combination of two or more substances in which each keeps its own properties and both can be easily separated. So we made that solution of salt and water, and they were easily dissolved. But if we left that water in the sun for long enough, that water would be able to evaporate, and we would still then have the separated ingredients from that mixture, or that, in that case, it was a solution, okay? To separate means to divide or keep apart. Oh, that also kind of reminds me of math. When we subtract, we're separating, right? Or when we're dividing, we're separating. I love the relationships between math and science. A solution is a liquid mixture in which one substance is mixed evenly throughout another substance. When you make Kool-Aid, you're making a solution. You don't still have that powdery Kool-Aid left over in that sugar with that water. It all mixes together and creates a solution. It's evenly mixed. Now, that being said, you are going to have a chance to create a mixture. So let me go back into our slideshow so you know what to do. When you start working on this slideshow project, first thing you need to do is make sure to put your name on this first slide. Always number one, put your name on your work, even in virtual learning. These are just the directions. I'm going to walk you through these instructions right now. Step 2 says to complete the graphic organizer for the mixture project from slide 4. When you come to slide 4, here's your mixture project graphic organizer. You are making a mixture. You're going to put the items in your mixture in this column. Let me share with you my mixture. Here's my mixture. I don't know if y'all can see it very well. In my mixture, I have some dice. I have some little chips. I have some paper clips. I also, it's kind of transparent, but I have water and sand. So I included those objects in my mixture as well. So your job, what I would do is write all of the items that I have in my mixture on my list. So I have dice. I have chips. I have paper clips. I have sand, and I have water. So those are the items in my mixture. You're just telling me what you're mixing. If you want to do different kinds of beans, if you want to go outside and find rocks, pine cones, whatever it is around your house that you want to use in your mixture, totally up to you. Then I'm going to list the materials that I needed to create this mixture. So really the main material that I needed was my bowl, my container to hold my mixture. Depending on what your mixture is, you might have a cup. You might have a muffin tin. Think about what material you would need to make that mixture. So I'm just going to put that I have a clear bowl. And then lastly, here's where you have to get creative. As scientists, we have different tools that we can use to separate our mixtures. That's kind of the fun thing about science, is depending on the property of the matter in our mixture, we can utilize different tools to separate things out. So for example, I know that I have some paper clips, and a property of matter that I know about paper clips is that it's magnetic. So I know a tool that I could use to separate that out would be a magnet. Now, I know you're at home. I know you don't have your fancy schmancy school scientist magnets. That's okay. Think logically. Where in your house might you have a magnet? I know Connor has some magnets on the fridge. I bet if I were at home, I could use his fridge magnets. They work just the same way, okay? So get kind of creative with what you have. So with my magnet, I'm going to write here that that's one tool I can use to separate. Another tool, one of my favorites, tweezers. Again, you probably don't have these rinky-dink plastic tweezers at home. I have a bunch of metal tweezers because I love to pluck my eyebrows. That's one of my favorite things to do. So talk to your mom. Say, Mama, I need to borrow your tweezers for a minute. Be nice to those tweezers. Y'all take care of them. That's another tool I can use as a scientist to separate my mixture. So I'm going to put tweezers. If you'll remember, we can also use, because if you think about my mixture, I have water in here with this sand. That's going to be kind of tough to separate. But this one makes me think of at home when I'm making pasta, and I have the water and the noodles, and they're all together. They're a mixture right then, right? And I have to separate them out. What tool do I have at home that I can use? My colander. Now, here at school, I don't have the plastic colander that I have at home, but I have these little small metal ones. Same thing. I can utilize this tool. Greg at home has a big strainer like this, even bigger, that we use when we're sifting flour and things. So whatever you have at home that can separate small pieces of things from the water is a great tool to use. Spoons. So actually, hold on, let me put in colander. Don't forget to put what tools you're using. Spoons. I have a big spoon here. You can use a little spoon. You can use a fork. What tool do you think would be good to help separate? This might be good to get my dice out. Maybe I don't want to use my fingers. So I'm going to put a spoon. And I just said something that is my favorite tool in the whole wide world. When I'm cooking, when I'm a scientist, when I'm a reader, when I'm a writer. Fingers. Fingers are such important tools, and we can utilize our fingers as scientists. So that can be one of my tools as well. Now I've got the tools that I'm going to use. Your tools might be different, and that's okay. Get creative. After I filled this out, let's go back and look at our directions. Now I'm going to create my mixture using the items listed. All right, I kind of did it backwards. Totally up to you, however you choose to do it. Then I'm going to complete slide 5 over how to separate my mixtures. Let's see, here was slide 4, here's slide 5. Please tell me how you will use your tool to separate the mixture. Well, I know right off the bat that I will use a magnet to separate the paper clips, because, make sure to include why you would use that tool. Don't just tell me I'm going to use the magnet. Why? What's your logic? What's the property that supports that? Because it is metal, or they are metal, and magnetic. Give me your thinking as a scientist, all right? Another tool, if you have these at home, I didn't show you, they're talking about this, but coffee filters. This would be another really good tool for separating that sand and that water, all right? Just be careful when you're doing this, because sometimes the coffee filter will slip down into the cup, so just be careful with that one. Then, last but not least, after you have completed all of these steps, told me everything you're going to do to separate out, last thing you're going to do is either take a picture and upload it to Class Dojo, or, and I had changed that to Flipgrid, add it to Flipgrid. You're going to add a video to Flipgrid. I'll have an assignment up there where you can show your video and tell me all about your mixture. All right, my friends, have fun with this. Enjoy, get creative, and I can't wait to see your videos. I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much.